Hi, I'm Jessica, and when I'm not drinking all the coffee, watching Razorback sports, or hanging out with my family of boys, it's my passion to help elementary music teachers just like you find your unique teaching style. My goal with this podcast is to share helpful tips, strategies, and to give you the motivation you need to gain momentum in your teaching so you can continue being the music teacher rock star you already are. Hey everyone, welcome back to episode 20. This is a free music lesson called Peanut Sat on a Railroad Track, and it's a lesson I taught in a workshop that you will hopefully find valuable. It's super simple, and it's a speech piece that you can add instruments to that is great to do with lower elementary usually, but you can also do it with upper elementary as well. So I hope you enjoy this lesson, and I hope you enjoy using it in your music classroom.
Today we're going to do a speech piece called Peanut Sat on a Railroad Track. This is one of my favorite speech pieces. It's so much fun to do, and the kids really enjoy adding instruments to it. Speech pieces is basically what it sounds like. Anything that is spoken, whether it's a poem or a little short speech, that you can make musical. It's so much fun to turn speeches into music. There's so much you can do with movement and instruments and body percussion, and that's what we're going to do today. Now, this is for lower or upper elementary. Lower elementary, you can just teach them one instrument part and maybe some movement. And upper elementary, I'm gonna teach you 3 different rhythm ostinato parts that they can add, and they're gonna play them all at the same time, and it's super fun. So the first thing we're obviously gonna do is we're going to learn the words while we clap the rhythm. And I'm gonna start slowly. It just basically goes like this. Peanut sat on a railroad track, feeling all aflutter. Down came the train, the 9:15, toot toot peanut butter. And that's it. It's super quick, but it's going to repeat over and over and over, and you'll see why in a minute. So let's do it one more time. Peanut sat on a railroad track, feeling all aflutter. Down came a train, the 9:15, toot toot peanut butter. Now remember, speech pieces, just like folk songs, don't always make sense. They're just sometimes fun and nonsense. But that's what's fun about it. It's a fun little thing to speak while you're adding movement or instruments. So the first thing we're going to do is pat the steady beat while we say the words. And it's going to just be, you're going to say the word peanut. Have the students say that with you. Peanut, 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 peanut. So what they're going to do is exactly what we just did. Say peanut, peanut, while you clap the rhythm and say the words. So your students are continuing to do this. They can either say peanut out loud or in their head, but they're going to keep, it's going to sound like a train moving kind of. Peanut, peanut, ready, your turn. Peanut sat on a railroad track, feeling all aflutter. Down came a train, the 9:15, toot toot peanut butter. And they're still doing this. So after they've got it down a little bit, then you can say switch, and you start going peanut, 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 while they clap the rhythm. Peanut sat on a railroad track, feeling all aflutter. Down came a train, the 9:15, toot toot peanut butter. Switch. Peanut, 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 peanut. They're doing the clapping now, or whoever's turn it is. And then you say switch. You get to the end of it and switch. Peanut, peanut. Now, that's hard. It's hard for them to switch going from patting the steady beat to clapping the rhythm of the words. That'll take a while to get them to be able to switch that quick. You mainly will be able to do that with your 4th and 5th graders, or what's really fun is even divide the class into half, and half of them are clapping the rhythm of the words and half of them are patting the steady beat. So after you've done peanut, 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 now we're going to go like this. Train, 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 train. Everybody do that with you. Ready, go. Train, 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 train. Over and over and over and over. Okay, so now we got 3 parts going on, right? You can probably see where I'm going with this. You got a body percussion part that you're going to eventually transfer to an instrument. So now we got 3 parts. Remember, we just split the class into half, right? You got part 1, part 2, and you. So now, part 1, group 1 will do peanut, 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 peanut. Group 2 will do train, 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 train. While you still go, peanut sat on a railroad track, feeling all aflutter. Then when you say switch, you will now be the train, 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 train. Group 1 will now be the peanut sat on a railroad track. Group 2 will now be the peanut, 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 peanut. It's confusing. It takes a lot of work up to that, and if you never do, that's okay. So these are the ostinato parts, and you can even have them stand up and walk to the beat. Train, 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 or peanut, 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 either in place or around the room a little bit. We've got our rhythms down, right? Now what you're gonna do is add some instruments. So you're gonna decide ahead of time what instruments you're going to add to this speech piece. Now, an ostinato, I want you to tell your students an ostinato is basically a rhythm that repeats over and over, right? Which we just did. Peanut and train. Those are both ostinato parts, even though they're just steady beats. They're ostinatos because they repeat over and over. You could even make up your own. You could go peanut sat, peanut sat, peanut sat, peanut sat, or all a flutter, all a flutter, all a flutter, all a flutter, or something like train, train, going on a train, 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 going on a train. So an ostinato, like I said, is either a beat or a rhythm that just repeats over and over. And you take the rhythm and you add instruments to it. It's that simple. You can have one ostinato part, you can have 25. Not really, but I mean, you could if you wanted. So the whole goal here is for you or a group of students who's saying and clapping the rhythm, and then you're going to have 1, 2, maybe 3 ostinato parts underneath it, layering underneath it. And you can and a way I like to do this is have 4 rows of students. I like to have students sitting in rows. Row 1 will be the group that's clapping and saying the rhythm, and then row 2, 3, and 4, or just 3 rows, will be doing an ostinato part. Then, using a hand drum or whatever, even just your hands, your students will rotate to each row. Row 1 will go to the back, row 4 will scoot up to 3, 3 will go to 2, 2 will go to 1, and they're on a new part. You could give them time to practice their new part before you start, or you can just jump right in. It's totally up to you. So row 1, like I said, is our rhythm. They're clapping the rhythm in the words. Row 2 could be the part that's going train, 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 train. Row 3 is going peanut, peanut, peanut. And row 4 is going peanut sat, peanut sat. So each of these rows will be doing body percussion. Train can be on the lap, and then, peanut is on the lap, peanut, peanut, and then train, 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 train. And the last one was peanut sat, peanut sat. Since you're already doing clapping, you could have that group do shoulders, peanut sat, or whatever it is. Okay, so now we've learned the ostinato, they've learned the rhythm, we've added some ostinato on body percussion, they've already gotten to rotate parts a little bit, you feel like they've got this down, now we're ready to add some instruments. You may not have a full class set of instruments for everybody to have one, but at least make sure there's a couple instruments on each row, so a couple of your students are playing the instruments while everybody else is still doing the body percussion. So let's go ahead and start with the drum. Okay, so our drum is going to be on row 2. This is the one that's going to be doing peanut, 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 peanut. Okay, so here we go. So pretend we've already set, someone's up here, row 1 is still saying peanut sat on a railroad track, sitting all aflutter. And then, so row 2 is going peanut, 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 peanut. Then you say, can you play without saying it out loud? Say it in your head. And on and on and on, okay? Now I'm gonna show you what the rhythm sticks part is. Okay, so the rhythm sticks are on the 3rd row, and they're the ones going train, 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 train. Now you say it in your head and just play that part. For eternity. Okay, now you got to remind your students, it's not a contest to see who can play the loudest, because when you have all these instruments going at once, it gets really loud. So remind them, the main part we want to hear is row 1. We want to hear that rhythm being spoken, and so everybody else play the instrument parts kind of softly. Train, because it's supposed to be underneath the main part. And I have one more instrument part to show you. Okay, so the shaker part just goes peanut track, peanut track, peanut track, peanut track. So now you've done all 3 instrument parts that you've already done body percussion with, and you've added the instrument parts to them. Now what you do is, like I said, your students are sitting in rows, is you can either have them all 4 parts come in at the same time when you say 1, 2, ready, go, and they all play their parts, or row 1 comes in first, which is the rhythm of the song, right? Peanut sat on a railroad track. After they finish the first time, when they're starting time 2, row 2 comes in on their part, and then the third time you'll layer in row 3 and then layer in row 4. So you can either have every part start together or layer them in one part at a time as the other parts keep going, if that makes sense. So I hope this helps you with what to do with a speech piece. You can make movement, add movement to it, make it musical with instruments and body percussion, and it's super fun for students to learn poetry and speeches that they can add music to. It's even a good way to collaborate with your language arts teachers. All right, you guys have a great day, and I'll see you next time. Bye.
Thank you so much for listening in to the Elementary Music Teacher Podcast. Be sure to subscribe to the podcast so you never miss an episode. And while you're there, I would love for you to review the show and leave a rating on iTunes. To find out more about how I can help you gain momentum in your elementary music teaching career, head to thedomesticmusician.com, where you'll find free downloads, courses, the blog, and so much more. Continue teaching music and never doubt the impact you're making each and every day in the lives of your students.